Peace, this is Star with the Star Blooms. Thank you to the Most High for aligning me to all race of truth, helping and aiding me in channeling clarity for our prosperity, cleansing and purification from our youth, alchemizing in light of ourselves. Thank you to Archangel Michael for all levels of protection, cutting away any and all etheric cords, connections and attachments, intentions and thought process being projected towards us at this time. May they be alchemized and amplified in source light, directed back to us for anything that we need in all our persistent ways of being. Thank you to my benevolent ancestors who are here with me, assigned to me at the highest light vibrational frequency as I align and connect to my higher self. To all race of my love. Abracadabra make it so. I say Asheo as I am. Thank y'all. Hey, I'm happy that y'all gave me a second. I was just praying, but I was speaking the spirit at a certain rate and it's so crazy because it's like there's a rate of eternal love that starts to show up in representation with you as long as you're willing to be at that rate within yourself. And usually I may, I don't know why I'm feeling called to share this. Usually I may acknowledge the energy without. And lately I've basically been channeling the energy within because I recognize that the first initial contact is made within. So within is basically internal, without is external, if that makes sense. I decided to take a break for a second, y'all, not because I wasn't necessarily feeling called to share messages. I have been feeling called every day that I've taken a break. However, I recognize that a lot of the messages that I was receiving were so repetitive. And I know that Spirit wants us to acknowledge things, and sometimes we're asked and we're called to basically reshare messages because the intended party may have not necessarily received it. Confirmation, I just burped. The intended party may have not received it, so it's like, say the message again. So I've been writing everything down that I've been getting. And I said when Spirit wants me to basically channel the message for the family, I'll be called to do it, and I'll do it, and I'll show up. And today's the day. One of the messages that I got was we are learning to transition communication and new beginnings to form. Hold on, say it again, y'all. We are learning to transition in communication and new beginnings for firm work on our foundation. So, I don't want to speak third party, and I don't want to speak around stuff because I feel like sometimes we miss the message because we be trying to figure out how to place it. So I'm going to be very direct. Thank you, Spirit. Somebody's walking into eternal rates of I can't get off this card without acknowledging it. When you learn to share your gift, you are walking into eternal rates of love within yourself that you're going to open up an amplified amount of abundance, because there's so much beauty in the light of you and your essence that creates miracles that you may have not even been recognizing that you are aligned and acquired to basically have at this time and all time, to be honest. It's just you have to get to this rate of embodiment within you. Can you hold the miracle within yourself? So the message that I got was chosen misinterpretations. My apologies, y'all. I called this the blinding blockers that keep us cycling in hope of ... So this can be gender fluid. Them, thee, they, he, her, she, okay, so on and so forth. Because we all go through these rates of not wanting to see it whatever it may be, right? And I did not think I was gonna have any clothes malfunctions, but it's like my dress on camera is not. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I want y'all in my business, but I want my business to be my business. Okay. So I'm just being myself, y'all. If y'all meant to be here, y'all meant to be here. This won't bother you. Okay, but a lot of the times we don't recognize that we don't want to see whatever it is that we've been called to see, and it's right in our face. Like it's so much in your face that you just not wanting to acknowledge in it. And that be the part of lesson that people have the opportunity to, I don't know why I was going to say puncture. People have the opportunity to puncture in order that goes, that's crazy. Hope is at, I shuffled this deck like 5 times before we got on live. Hope is at the bottom of the deck. Right? Hope is a good thing to be in presence of, but it's not something that you keep close to you, because it's like I'm wishing on a star, and we don't really got to wish. We can really be in recognition of and manifest and call for what it is that we're truly desiring. Some of us have been at a rate within our circumstance where we don't see, we're not receiving what it is that we're really truly meant to basically be in the presence of, because we just keep on deciding one go around. I already went through this, but let's go through it again. Let's go one more time. Like I'm gonna hit this one more time, like one more again. I got it in me. You know, I belong here. I'm longing for this space that I once seen the spark of, but no longer see the spark in me. And a lot of the times when you recognize within this rate of belonging, I used to get this card when I first basically came into contact with the false flame. And the reason why I recognize it now, but I perceived it before that I was getting this card, is because a lot of the times you don't recognize that when you come into contact with people, you are meeting a rate of yourself in oneself, right? And you don't necessarily always have all of the pieces to the puzzle that you're making. However, if you're sensitive enough, you'll have like the discernment to say, hey, it's something here, right? And even if it's something here, sometimes it could have been a past life situationship. Sometimes it could have been a past life trauma that you never really healed. Or sometimes it's a past life trauma that somebody else hasn't healed, and they come in contact with you in lieu of that past life issue that needs to basically come up to the forefront for them to be able to fully address it and move forward. We be going into internal digesting, consumption of things on a long-term basis for something that may have just been meant to be the push for us to say, hey, no more here, right? Don't put blind and blockers on your eyes and on your energy in your auric field, trying to convince yourself not to perceive what it is that you are innately perceiving. No, this is not meant for me. Yes, this is meant for me. I've already went through this thing. This is my outcome from the previous times. What new can I learn from here? That's a good thing to be asking yourself. What can I learn that's new in this space? Because sometimes that be the space that we don't want to be in. We learned a lesson. If you acknowledge that you learned the lesson and you stop being in this space of being victimized, you'll start to honor and respect your journey. You'll be at the rate, okay, this is what I was. This is who I am. And this is how I showed up. And you'll learn how to forgive yourself. Because that'd be the biggest key. That'd be the biggest key. Sometimes you be so disgusted with rates of how you may have not necessarily loved yourself. There go that love again. Ways that you learned how to forgive yourself for not having those standards and those boundaries that you have now. And don't feel like you got to hold other people at the rate of what you've now learned and shown up in respect of yourself to be, for them to basically have to pay for who they was or wasn't. And allow yourself to align to the race of the new foundation that's coming up in this transition for you, to start to speak internally to yourself in a new way. So you'll have a sound foundation internally. So your subconscious will start to eradicate certain thought processes, so you could be in the new experiences and start to really start to grow in the rate of self that you are truly desiring to be at. Because a lot of y'all don't understand, in this 1 year experience, it's about you and you and the seed that's being planted within from the Most High, and you being in representation of the new you that's actually showing up to the forefront. What have you been planting that's actually coming into fruition at this time? And how are you ready to recognize that and speaking internally differently with yourself, and also thinking differently with yourself? That's all I want to share. I hope this message finds you. Peace. I love